Hey, welcome back. Okay, let's talk about the worst books that I read in 2021. So I read over 100 books, and I have a list of the 10 worst books, in my opinion. So, I'm sure some people like these books. In fact, I know some people like these books. So you can't take the fact that I don't like them personally, because I'm really glad that someone exists out there that does like them, hopefully. And yeah, I have tastes that are unconventional, and I like some books that some people hate, so it's okay if we don't all like the same books. So, okay. The best bad book that I read this year is Three Wishes by Liane Moriarty. So this book is about triplets and kind of going down, it's kind of following their lives. And it's written by Liane Moriarty, who is an author that I've liked everything else of hers that I've read. Nine Perfect Strangers was a really good book. Big Little Lies, The Husband's Secret, The Last Anniversary. I've read a bunch of her other books. I think most of her other books, and I've really enjoyed it. So it was surprising, but I did not enjoy this one. In number 9, we have The Great Gatsby. So this was my first time reading this book, and I didn't like it. It's a classic, and I understand that it's a classic. I don't understand why it's a classic, personally. I find it was pretty hard to follow. I didn't really take anything away from it, and I feel like there were certain things that happened in the book that weren't given enough attention, and the plot carried on despite the fact that big things happened, so I didn't really enjoy that part. In number 8, we have The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. This is a very highly recommended book, and I just didn't enjoy it. I didn't enjoy it at all. I didn't take anything away from it. I remember some of the habits. The author of this book is religious, and that didn't, speak to me. I felt like this book was written by a man for other men, and I just didn't enjoy it. It was a pain to get through, and again, the only reason I got through it is because I had the audiobook, so I could kind of turn my brain off and wait for it to be done, and that's kind of what I had to do to get through it, so did not enjoy this book. Similarly, another book that some people have loved, but I didn't like at all, and it took me 2 tries to get through this. And just like The 7 Habits, this book was only able to get finished because I could turn on the audiobook and wait for it to be done. I didn't learn much. I didn't learn much at all. And the funny thing is, I just finished Homo Deus, and there's a lot of studies mentioned in that book that were also mentioned in this book, but it was framed in such a way that was so much more interesting to me. So, yes, did not enjoy this book. Didn't feel like I learned anything from it. I'm sorry. Okay, bottom, sixth book. My Sister the Serial Killer. I'm sorry, I just didn't like this book. I didn't like the characters. I actually hated the characters, both of them. Both the main characters. I didn't understand why things were happening the way they were happening. I hated the ending. I hated the beginning. I didn't like this at all. I consider myself to love thrillers, and that to be one of my favorite genres of books, and this I would consider a thriller, but I did not want to read it. Didn't want to read it at all. It wasn't pulling me back in. I was not excited to pick it up. Yeah, I just did not enjoy that. So that's going to be a no for me. Okay, the next book that I did not enjoy, and this was one of the first books I read this year, Into the Wild. And the author of this book has written another one called Into Thin Air that I did want to read, but after reading this book, and let me tell you, this book is 215 pages. It is a tiny book. There's pictures, so it's not a dense book, but oh my god, it took me so long to read it, and I didn't enjoy any part of reading it. I didn't enjoy it. I didn't like it. And the story is interesting. I don't want to take away from you know, the suffering, because this is based on a true story, so like obviously there's valuable things in here. I just considered the author didn't write in a way that made me want to read. The next book, The Tipping Point by Malcolm Gladwell. This was my first Malcolm Gladwell book, and it turned me off of Malcolm Gladwell. I did read Blink as well this year, so I am into reading Malcolm Gladwell again, but this book, oh my god, why? Here, so this book is 260 pages. Let me save you the trouble. Let me save you some time. Sometimes little things happen, and when enough little things happen, a big thing can happen. That's the tipping point. But it takes him 260 agonizing pages to explain that, which I don't know why. An absolute waste of my time. Alright, time for the top 3 books. Top 3 least favorite, worst books of the year. For me. In third place, The Shadows by Alex North. So, hold on, just a minute. This is a great book. I loved reading this book. But it fucked me up so bad. And it's all about lucid dreaming. And so for weeks, months even afterwards, my sleep and my dreams were so fucked because I followed this stupid 10-year-old's tutorial on how to lucid dream. And it didn't go well for me, and I would not recommend it. So, learn from my mistake. It's a good book, but holy shit, it fucked me up. So, definitely one of my least favorite books this year. Alright, in the number 2 spot, Call Me By Your Name. I know a lot of people love this book, so I'm sorry. If anyone wants to know why, I have one word for you. Apricot. Okay, time for the number 1. The number 1, the worst book of the year. I wish I could show it to you, but no I don't because I had it and I owned it, and I got rid of it the minute I was done. Sharp Objects by Gillian Flynn. I hated it, I hated it, I hated it. Disgusting, badly written, pointless, stupid, shitty. Don't read it. So yeah, those are my top 10 worst books of the year. I hope you read some good ones. I'm sorry I hate some of the books that you probably like. My bad, but that's okay.